The shuttle doors opened with a soft hiss. Minho stepped out first, his eyes going wide as he looked around. The station was huge, bigger than anything he had ever seen. The ceiling stretched high above, with windows showing the stars outside. Aliens walked everywhere. Real aliens, not movie effects or video game characters. Real living beings from other planets. "Wow," Hannah whispered behind him. She carried her bag over her shoulder, staring at everything. This is really happening. Tejo pushed past them, grinning. "Come on, don't block the door. I want to see everything." Yuna was the last to exit. She was calmer than the others, but even she couldn't hide her excitement. Her hands shook a little as she held her tablet with their orientation schedule. They were the first Korean students at the Galactic Concordance Academy. Actually, they were among the first humans ever admitted. Earth had only joined the galactic community 2 years ago. Everything was still new. Everything was still strange. A high-pitched chirp made them turn. A creature that looked like a large blue bird walked toward them. It had 4 eyes and feathers that shimmered like oil on water. It wore a vest covered in pockets and carried a datapad in its wing claw. "Welcome, welcome," the bird creature said. Its voice was friendly, coming from a translator device on its vest. "You must be the Earth students. I am Quillix, your academic advisor. Please follow me. We have much to discuss before orientation begins." The 4 humans followed Quillix through the station. Other students stared at them as they passed. Some aliens whispered to each other. A few pointed. Minho felt like an animal in a zoo, but he tried to smile and wave. Some aliens waved back. Others quickly looked away. Quillix led them to a small office. Inside, there were chairs of different sizes and shapes. The humans found seats that almost fit their bodies and sat down. "First, let me say how excited we are to have humans here." The translator made it hard to tell, but the bird sounded genuine. "Your species is quite new to us. We have much to learn from each other." "We're excited too," Yuna said politely. "Thank you for accepting us." Quillix's feathers ruffled. "Yes, well, let's go over your class schedule." The advisor tapped at the datapad. "You've all selected your courses: Standard Mathematics, Galactic History, Chemical Sciences, and—" "Oh, is something wrong?" Hannah asked. "You've all enrolled in Physical Conditioning 101. Are you certain about this choice?" The 4 humans looked at each other, confused. "It's required, isn't it? All first-year students have to take it." "Technically, yes," Quillix admitted, "but there are alternatives. Independent study, virtual courses, many options that might be more suitable." "Suitable for what?" Tejo asked. He sounded a bit defensive. "We're in good shape. We can handle a gym class." Quillix's 4 eyes blinked in a pattern the humans didn't understand. "I'm sure you can. I just wanted to make sure you understood what you were signing up for. Physical conditioning is considered one of the most difficult courses we offer." Yuna leaned forward. "Difficult? How? What do students do in the class?" "Running, climbing, strength training, endurance challenges. It pushes students to their physical limits. Many find it very challenging." "That sounds like normal gym class," Hannah said. "We all did that in school back on Earth." "Required physical education for children?" Quillix's feathers stood up. "Your world makes younglings do military-level training." "It's not military training," Minho laughed. "Just regular exercise, sports and stuff." Quillix made a note on the datapad. "Fascinating. Well, if you're all certain, I won't stop you. Just remember, you can drop the course within the first 3 cycles if it's too much." "We'll be fine," Tejo said confidently. They left Quillix's office and headed to the main orientation hall. Hundreds of alien students filled the huge room. The humans stayed close to each other, feeling very small and very alone. A tall alien stood at the front. She had scales like a lizard, 4 arms, and yellow eyes that seemed to see everything. She wore a military-style uniform with medals on the chest. "That's Commander Thress," a voice said next to them. They turned. A student who looked like a walking rock smiled at them. At least, they thought it was a smile. It was hard to tell with a face made of stone. "She teaches physical conditioning," the rock student continued. "Very tough, very fair. I'm Torvin, by the way." "Minho," Minho said, bowing slightly out of habit. "These are my friends." Hannah, Teho, and Yuna. "You're the humans, right?" Torvin asked. "Everyone's been talking about you. We've never seen your species before." "What do they say?" Yuna asked carefully. The rocky student's shoulders moved in what might have been a shrug. "That you're from a planet far away, that you look kind of fragile. No offense." "None taken," Hannah said, though she didn't sound entirely happy. Commander Thress began to speak. Her voice was deep and strong. "Welcome to Galactic Concordance Academy. You come from many worlds, many species, many cultures. Here you are all equal. Here you will all be challenged." The speech went on for a while. She talked about honor, duty, and education. She explained the rules. No fighting outside of training, no cheating, no discrimination based on species. "Your courses will be difficult," Commander Thress said. "We expect the best from you, especially in Physical Conditioning 101, which I personally teach. This course has broken strong students. It has made weak students discover strength they didn't know they had. If you're in my class, prepare yourself. I do not give easy grades. In 20 years of teaching, only 4 students have earned perfect scores." Teho nudged Minho. "Sounds intense." "Sounds fun," Minho whispered back. After orientation, students gathered in the cafeteria. The humans stood in line, trying to figure out which foods they could actually eat. Their tablets had a scanning function that checked for toxins and allergens. They found a table and sat down with their trays of strange-looking food. Most of it was bland, some tasted like metal. One thing that looked like purple fruit was actually pretty good. Other students began to approach their table. First came a small group of insect-like aliens with thin bodies and large eyes. "Greetings," one of them said through a translator. "We are Velthans. You are the humans, yes?" "Yes," Yuna said. "Would you like to sit with us?" The Velthans sat down. Their bodies were light, and they barely made the chairs move. "We wanted to introduce ourselves. We will be classmates in Physical Conditioning." "Great," Hannah said. "Maybe we can study together or train together." One Velthan made a clicking sound. "Train together? Your gravity tolerance might be different from ours. Our world has much lower gravity than the standard setting." "Oh," Hannah said. "What's standard setting?" 0.8 galactic units, comfortable for most species. What is your world's gravity?" Minho pulled out his tablet and checked. It says Earth is 1.0 on the conversion chart." The Velthans went quiet. Then they started clicking rapidly to each other. "Is that high?" Teho asked. "It's higher than standard, but I'm sure you've adapted to station gravity by now." "Actually, it feels a little light," Yuna admitted, "like we might float away if we jumped too hard." The Velthans clicked more. They seemed nervous. Before the humans could ask why, another group approached. These aliens were bluish and slightly wet-looking, like they'd just come from a pool. "Hello, we are Porvians," one of them said cheerfully. "Are you really from a planet with 21% oxygen?" Yes," Minho said. "Is that weird?" "It's very high," the Porvian said. "Most worlds have 14 to 16%. Your atmosphere must be very energetic. Do things burn easily on your world?" "I mean, yeah, if you use fire, but that's normal, right?" The Porvian's large eyes blinked. "We will be in Physical Conditioning together. This will be interesting." As more students came to meet them, the humans began to realize something. They kept asking strange questions about Earth's gravity, about the oxygen, about the temperature ranges, about their muscle structure. "Why is everyone so interested in our planet?" Hannah whispered to the others. "Maybe we're just exotic. We're new to them, remember?" But Minho wasn't so sure. The way the aliens looked at them, it wasn't just curiosity. It was something else. Concern? Fear? Respect? He didn't know yet. That night, in their shared dormitory, the 4 humans prepared for their first day of classes. "Physical Conditioning is 3rd period tomorrow," Teho said, checking his schedule. "Right after lunch." "I hope it's actually challenging," Minho said as he stretched. "I've been getting lazy on the trip here. Need a good workout." "The commander said it was really hard," Hannah reminded him. "We shouldn't be overconfident." "I'm not overconfident, just hopeful." Yuna was quiet, looking out the window at the stars. "Do you think we'll fit in here?" she asked softly. The others stopped what they were doing. "We're different, really different. Did you see how they looked at us?" "They're just curious," Teho said.
We'll show them that we're not so different. We breathe, we eat, we learn, same as them. We'll be fine, Hannah agreed. We just need to be ourselves. Minho nodded. Tomorrow we'll go to gym class and do our best just like we always have. Nothing to worry about. He was wrong. Tomorrow would change everything. Tomorrow they would discover the truth about Earth, and tomorrow they would accidentally break records that had stood for 20 cycles. But tonight, they were just 4 students from Korea, excited and nervous, ready to start their galactic education. The stars shined outside their window. Somewhere out there was Earth, home, a planet they thought was completely normal. They had no idea that the entire galaxy considered their home world a death trap, and they had no idea that they were considered almost super beings by galactic standards.
The gymnasium was massive. Minho had seen big sports facilities on Earth, but this was different. The ceiling was at least 50 meters high. Different sections of the floor had different colors, probably for different gravity settings. Strange equipment lined the walls. Some of it looked familiar, like weights and bars. Other pieces looked like alien torture devices. About 40 students gathered in the center. Humans, Velthans, Porvians, Torvenins, fellow Krell students, and species the humans hadn't met yet. Everyone wore the same gray athletic uniform. On humans, it looked like a simple tracksuit. On the Velthans, it had extra holes for their wings. On the Porvians, it seemed to keep them moist. Commander Thress stood before them, her 4 arms crossed over her chest. Her yellow eyes scanned each student. "Welcome to Physical Conditioning 101, she said. Her voice echoed in the huge space. "I am Commander Thress. I have fought in 3 wars. I have climbed the frozen peaks of Sardax. I have survived situations that would kill most of you in seconds. I tell you this not to brag, but to explain that I know what real physical challenge means." She began walking along the line of students. "This course exists because the galaxy is dangerous. Space is dangerous. Other worlds are dangerous. Your bodies are your first tool for survival. If your body is weak, you are weak. If your body is strong, you have a chance." She stopped in front of the 4 humans, looked them up and down. "You will all be pushed to your limits. Some of you will fail. Some of you will barely pass. A few of you might excel. We will see." Minho felt his heart beat faster, not from fear, from excitement. Finally, a real challenge. "First exercise," Commander Thress announced. "The endurance track, 5 kilometers. The gravity will be set to 0.8 standard. The oxygen will be set to 18%. This simulates harsh world conditions. You will run until you complete the distance or until you collapse. Medical teams are standing by." The Velthan students clicked nervously to each other. One Porvian raised a hand. "Commander, 18% oxygen is quite high." "It is high," Commander Thress agreed. "That's why it's a challenge. Take your positions." The students spread out along a marked track. The humans stood together at first, but Commander Thress separated them. "Spread out. Mix with other species. This isn't a team exercise." Minho found himself between a Velthan and a tall, thin alien with purple skin. Hana was several positions down. Teho and Yuna were on the other side of the track. "Begin," Commander Thress shouted. Minho started running. He kept an easy pace, not wanting to burn out early. 5 kilometers wasn't too bad. That was about 3 miles. He used to run that much in middle school. Within the first minute, he noticed something weird. He was passing people, lots of people, and he wasn't even running fast. The Velthan next to him was already breathing hard, its wings struggling to keep balance. The purple alien's long legs moved quickly but seemed weak, shaking with each step. Minho slowed down a bit. Maybe he had started too fast, but this was barely jogging pace. He looked around for the others. Teho was way ahead, running like it was nothing. Yuna was passing people left and right with steady strides. Hana was somewhere in the middle of the pack but didn't look tired at all. After 1 kilometer, the first students began to walk. Their translators picked up gasps and groans. Too fast, can't breathe, gravity too strong. Minho was confused. Too strong? The gravity felt light to him, like running on the moon or something. Each step felt bouncy, easy, and the air felt fine. Actually, it felt thinner than Earth air, but not in a bad way. By 2 kilometers, half the class was walking. Some had stopped completely, sitting on the ground while medical staff checked on them. The 4 humans were now clearly in the lead. They hadn't even broken a sweat. Teho finished first, at 22 minutes. He bent over, hands on his knees, catching his breath, but he was smiling. "That felt good," he called to a medical staff member. "When does the hard part start?" The medical staff member, a small green alien with big ears, just stared at him. Minho finished at 25 minutes, Yuna at 26, Hana at 28. They gathered together near the finish line, stretching and waiting for the others. "Is it just me, or was that really easy?" Hana whispered. "Super easy. I feel like I could do it again," Yuna agreed. "Maybe the hard exercises come later," Minho suggested. They waited and waited. The next student to finish was Torvin, the Krell, at 41 minutes. He was moving slow but steady, his rock-like body grinding forward. When he crossed the line, he immediately sat down, his breathing heavy. "Good job," Yuna said to him. Torvin looked up at her. "You finished 30 minutes ago, and you're not even sitting." "Should we be sitting?" Yuna asked, genuinely confused. More students trickled in. 45 minutes, 50 minutes, 55 minutes. Some were being carried by medical staff, too exhausted to continue. The Velfins looked like they might die, their exoskeletons clicking in distress. The Porvians needed constant water spray to keep from drying out. At 62 minutes, the last student finished. Commander Thress called everyone to gather. Many students sat or lay on the floor. A few were still with medical staff. The 4 humans stood normally, waiting for the next exercise. Commander Thress looked at her datapad, then looked at the humans, then back at her datapad. "Interesting," she muttered. "Next exercise," Commander Thress announced. "The grip strength and climbing. You will climb that wall. Then you will hang from the bar at the top for as long as possible. Your time will be recorded." The students groaned. Some protested that they were too tired. Commander Thress allowed a 10-minute water break. The humans drank some water but felt fine. "I'm barely warmed up," Teho whispered. "Don't show off," Hana warned. "People are already staring at us." They were right. The other students kept glancing at the humans, whispering to each other. The climbing exercise began. Students went one at a time. Most took 3 to 5 minutes to climb the wall. Many struggled, their arms shaking. A few couldn't reach the top at all. Then came the hanging portion. The first Velthin student hung from the bar for 28 seconds before dropping. The class clapped politely. A Porvian managed 34 seconds. More clapping. Torvin, using his heavy strength, hung for an impressive 2 minutes and 3 seconds. The class cheered. That was apparently a class record. "Excellent work, Torvin," Commander Thress said, making a note. "New record." Minho went next. He climbed the wall easily, finding good handholds without much thought. It reminded him of the climbing gym near his school. He reached the top in about 90 seconds. Then he hung from the bar and waited. His arms felt fine, strong. He'd done pull-ups in gym class that were harder than this. The gravity was lighter here, so he weighed less. This was actually easier than hanging on Earth. 1 minute passed, then 2. Minho hung there, looking around at the gym. He noticed details on the ceiling, counted the lights, started getting bored. At 3 minutes, he heard whispers from below. At 4 minutes, Commander Thress said, "You can let go any time, Student Minho." "I'm okay," Minho called down. "Is there a time we're supposed to reach?" Silence. At 5 minutes, his arms finally started to feel tired. He dropped down, landing easily in the safety zone. He walked back to the group, where everyone stared at him. "What?" he asked. Nobody answered. Hana went next.
She climbed quickly and hung for 3 minutes and 42 seconds. When she dropped down, she was smiling. "That was fun," she said. Yuna hung for 4 minutes and 12 seconds, but the most surprising was Torvin. He hung for 3 minutes, then got bored and started doing pull-ups. He did 15 pull-ups before finally letting go. The entire class was silent. Even Commander Thress seemed at a loss for words. Good work," the commander finally said. Excellent grip strength." After class, students left quickly, whispering and pointing at the humans. The 4 friends gathered their things, confused. "Did we do something wrong?" Hana asked. "Maybe we were supposed to struggle more?" Yuna suggested. A voice behind them made them turn. "Human students, come with me." It was Commander Thress. Her face was unreadable. "Are we in trouble?" Teho asked. "No," she said, "but we need to talk, now." She led them out of the gym, through quiet corridors, towards her office. The humans followed, nervous and confused. Quillix was already waiting in the office. The bird alien advisor looked worried. "Sit down," Commander Thress said. They sat. The commander pulled up something on a large screen. It showed data, charts, numbers the humans didn't understand. "I need to ask you something, and I need you to answer honestly. Did you hold back today?" The humans looked at each other. "A little," Minho admitted. "We didn't want to show off." The commander made a sound that might be a laugh or a cough. "You held back, and you still performed at levels I've never seen." "We're sorry," Hana said quickly. "We can try to blend in more." "Stop," Quillix interrupted. "You don't know. You didn't tell them." "Tell us what?" Yuna asked. The commander sighed. All 4 of her arms dropped to her chest.
3 weeks had passed since the humans decided to stay in Physical Conditioning 101. Commander Thress had announced their new role to the class. The humans would participate, but also help other students improve. At first, some students were angry. Why did they get special treatment? A Velthan student complained. But when Commander Thress explained that Earth was a Class 12 death world, the mood changed. Some students looked scared. Others looked fascinated. A few looked like they wanted to quit the class immediately. "The humans are not here to compete with you," Commander Thress had said firmly. "They are here to help you become stronger. If you cannot learn from those different from you, you will fail in this galaxy." Now, on week 3, the class was doing combat training. Students paired up to practice basic self-defense moves. The goal was to learn how to fall safely, how to block, and how to escape holds. Yuna was paired with Preela, the small Porvian student she'd befriended. Preela was nervous. Her blue skin kept getting dry because she was sweating with fear. "It's okay," Yuna said gently. "We're just practicing. I'll be very careful." "You're so strong, though," Preela whispered. "What if you accidentally hurt me?" "I won't," Yuna promised. "Here, you try to grab my arm first. Show me what you learned." Preela reached out and grabbed Yuna's wrist with both of her small hands. Yuna pretended to struggle, then showed Preela the correct twisting motion to escape. "See? Now you try defending." They switched. Yuna grabbed Preela's wrist as gently as she could, like holding a baby bird. Preela twisted like Yuna had shown her, but her strength wasn't enough to break free. "Use your whole body," Yuna coached. "It's not about arm strength, it's about leverage and momentum. Turn your hips, drop your weight." Preela tried again. This time she broke free from Yuna's gentle grip. Her face lit up with joy. "I did it!" "You did," Yuna smiled. Across the mat, Teho was working with a tall, thin alien named Rivek. Rivek was frustrated because he kept falling wrong during the throwing exercises. "I can't do this," Rivek complained. "My legs are too long. I'm not built for this." "Everyone's built differently," Teho said. "That's not a weakness, that's just different. Here, watch." He demonstrated a fall in slow motion, explaining each part. "You don't fight the fall, you guide it. Use the mat to absorb the impact." Rivek tried again. This time he fell better, rolling with the momentum instead of fighting it. "Better," Teho encouraged. "See, you just needed to understand the physics of it." On the other side of the gym, disaster struck.
Minho was demonstrating a simple push defense with a Velthan student named Crix. The exercise was basic. Crix would push, and Minho would redirect the force. Then they'd switch. "Your turn to push me," Minho said, getting into position. Crix pushed. To a Velthan, it was a strong push. To Minho, it felt like a light tap. He barely moved. "Okay, now I'll push you back. Ready?" "Ready," Crix confirmed. Minho pushed, trying to use the same amount of force he'd felt, just a gentle push. Crix flew backward across the mat, tumbling head over wings, and crashed into a padded wall 3 meters away. The entire gym went silent. "Oh no, oh no," Minho ran over. "I'm so sorry, are you okay?" Crix lay there, dazed, his wings spread out. Medical staff rushed over. Commander Thress was there in seconds. "What happened?" she demanded. "I barely pushed him. I swear, I used barely any strength," Minho said, his voice panicked. The medical staff checked Crix over. Fortunately, nothing was broken. The Velthan exoskeleton was cracked but not shattered. Crix would need a day or two to recover, but he'd be fine. "Everyone, break," Commander Thress ordered. "Humans, with me, now." The 4 humans followed her to the side of the gym. She looked angry. No, not angry, concerned. "This is exactly what I was worried about. Minho, explain what happened." "I barely pushed him. At least I thought was the same amount. I really tried to be gentle." Commander Thress sighed, her forearms rubbing her temples. "This is the problem with Deathworlders. Your gentle is not gentle. Your sense of force is calibrated for Earth strength, not galactic standard." "What do we do?" Hana asked. The commander thought for a moment. "New rule. For combat training, humans do not push, punch, or throw other students. Only receive. You play defense only. Let other students practice on you. You're durable enough to handle it." It made sense, but it felt terrible. Minho felt like a monster. "I really didn't mean to hurt him." "I know," Commander Thress said, her voice softer, "but intent doesn't matter if someone gets injured. You need to understand something. Strength without control is just violence. Real strength means knowing not to use your power." That night, the 4 humans sat with Crix in the medical bay. They brought him snacks from the cafeteria and apologized over and over. "It's okay," Crix said through his translator. His wing was bandaged. "I know you didn't mean it. Actually, it was kind of amazing. I've never flown that far without using my wings." He was joking, trying to make them feel better. It helped, a little. "I want to learn how you control your strength," Crix said. "On my world, we're not very strong. We rely on flight and speed. But you have all this power and you hold it back all the time. How do you do that?" Minho thought about it. "I never really thought about it before. Back on Earth, everyone's as strong as us, so we learned control as kids. My mom used to say, gentle hands with small things. We practiced being careful." "Teach me," Crix said. "Teach us all. Not how to be strong like you, we can't be, but teach us control, precision, how to use what strength we have wisely." That conversation changed everything. The next class, Commander Thress announced a new component to the course, Philosophy of Strength. The humans would lead discussions about martial arts principles, self-control, and the mental aspects of physical training. "Strength is not just muscles," Yuna explained to the class during the first session. "Back on Earth, we have many martial arts, Taekwondo, Judo, Hapkido. They all teach that the mind is more important than the body." Hana demonstrated breathing techniques. "When you panic, you get weak. When you breathe, you find your center. Try it with me." The whole class practiced breathing exercises. Deep breath in, slow breath out, finding calm in their bodies. Taeho taught them about patience. In Taekwondo, we learn to wait for the right moment. You don't have to be fast or strong if your timing is perfect. Use your opponent's energy against you. The alien students were fascinated. They'd never thought about combat as anything other than physical. This mental approach was completely new. Week 5 brought the Environmental Adaptation Challenge. Students had to spend time in 7 different climate chambers, each simulating different planetary conditions. Chamber 1, high heat, 45 degrees Celsius. Chamber 2, freezing cold, -20 degrees Celsius. Chamber 3, high humidity, 90%. Chamber 4, thin atmosphere, low oxygen. Chamber 5, high pressure. Chamber 6, dry desert conditions. Chamber 7, combination of multiple stresses. Most students could handle 2 or 3 chambers for about 10 minutes each. It was exhausting and uncomfortable. The humans rotated through all 7 chambers without much trouble. In the heat chamber, while other students were gasping and overheating, Teho said, "This feels like summer in Seoul, maybe a bit hotter." In the freezing chamber, Hana commented, "My grandmother's house in winter was colder than this. She never turned on the heat." In the thin atmosphere chamber, Minho actually felt comfortable. "This is easier to breathe than the regular station air, not as thick." The other students watched in amazement. Prila asked Yuna, "How do you adapt so easily?" "Earth has all of these climates," Yuna explained. "You can stand in a desert in the morning and be in a snowstorm by evening if you travel. Our bodies learn to adapt quickly. Humans can live almost anywhere on our planet, from ice to jungle to mountains to ocean shores." "Your planet sounds terrifying," Prila said. "It's home," Yuna said with a smile. "You'd be surprised what feels normal when you grow up with it." Week 7 brought the team obstacle course. Commander Thress divided the class into 4 teams, making sure each team had 1 human to keep things fair. Minho's team had Crix, now recovered, 2 Porvians, and a Krell named Thorin. The course was brutal. Climb walls, crawl through tunnels, cross balance beams, swim through a thick liquid, and solve puzzles while under time pressure. "Okay, team," Minho said, "let's figure out our strengths. Crix, you can fly, right?" "Short distances," Crix confirmed. "Thorin, you're strong and stable." "Yes, but slow," Thorin rumbled. "The Porvians can fit in small spaces and are good with their hands." "We're good swimmers too," one of the Porvians added. "And I can lift heavy things, I guess," Minho said. "So, let's use all that." They planned their strategy. When the course started, they worked together. Crix flew up to scout ahead and find the fastest routes. Thorin became a stable platform for others to climb on. The Porvians swam through the liquid section easily and helped pull the others through. Minho used his strength to create bridges, lift obstacles, and carry equipment. But the most important thing was that Minho listened to his team. When Crix suggested a different path, Minho followed the advice. When Thorin said to slow down, Minho slowed down. When the Porvians found a shortcut, everyone used it. They didn't finish first. Hana's team finished first, but Minho's team finished together, with everyone supporting each other, and that felt better than winning. After the course, covered in sweat and the strange liquid, the teams gathered.